Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Lauren. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having an amazing day. I am so excited for this video. It is Sunday, which means I'm doing a fragrance video. If you haven't caught on to it, I am uploading fragrance videos every Sunday. So yeah, now I said it out loud and I have to do it. Also, yes, my hair is pink, kind of. I don't know. If you haven't seen my last video kind of showing the process of this, definitely check it out. I'll leave it linked down below. But I'm pink, I have short hair, lots of changes going on over here. But that's not what today's video is about. Today I'm going to be reviewing and talking to you guys all about the new Skylar perfumes. I have absolutely every single one from the line. So we have 9 perfumes to talk about and I'm really excited. They did gift these all to me, but this is not sponsored. These are my honest opinions and I'm excited to talk to you guys about them because I saw these getting changed and the packaging changes showing up on different websites. I first saw it on like Anthropologie. They're now on Sephora like this. And so I knew something was coming. And so to get the opportunity to try them all, I was like, yes. Thank you so much. I'm excited. And I'm excited to share my favorites with you guys, my reviews of these, and these are true reviews where I've tested these all on the skin. I've been testing them out for a while now, so I have kind of my first impressions. I have what they smell like out the bottle, but then also on the skin, in the dry down, after some wear time. So if you were interested in any one of these perfumes, I hope this video will be helpful for you to maybe see if these notes would be good, the wear time, all those things. I'm gonna split this video up into chapters so you can get to where you wanna go in case you just wanna check out one perfume. I get it. I also do have samples of their past perfumes, so I thought I could do a little comparison for ones that are similar or ones that aren't, so that'll be in here as well. Before we get into all the scents, all my thoughts, all of that, I do want to give you a bit of information about Skylar as a brand. They are a clean fragrance brand. They're cruelty-free and vegan, which is really awesome, especially because I've had a lot of you comment about how it's hard to find perfumes that are cruelty-free, so these ones are, which I think is great. These are great for people with sensitive skin. They're hypoallergenic, and I personally love that all of these scents are fashioned and formulated based off of different places in LA. I consider myself an LA girl, so you know, I love to see it, all the different inspirations. I think that the Skylar perfumes are going to be best suited for people who like things like Jo Malone, like brands like Atelier Cologne, because I do find these to be a little bit softer. They don't have like a beast mode. They're not going to last you all day, all night into the next day. That's not the wear time you get on these. I've found from clean fragrances as well as from other reviews that they don't tend to last that long, and I would say all of these last about four hours on me, which I feel like in general perfume doesn't last on me very long. Like it does last on your clothes a little bit longer, but on my skin, I just feel like my skin eats through perfume. So these last about 4-ish hours on my skin. If it's a little bit different than that, I will note that in the video, but I think you're definitely going to want to touch up with these throughout the day. I also want to note the kind of updated packaging, the kind of rebranding that Skylar is doing. I absolutely love the new packaging. All the scents in the full size come in these square bottles. This is a 50 ml or 1.7 ounce bottle, and I just think that it's very classy looking. It's very chic. The top on here is like a faux marble. It's like a plastic lid, but it clicks on really nicely and you can hold the bottle by its top. It's not gonna fall off. I just think they look really chic and nice. And I really think it's a great makeover for the brand. These bottles retail for $85 a piece. And I wanted to note that something kind of interesting Skylar does is they do a scent club. So you can sign up and like get a scent every single month, like in a rollerball, I believe, which is kind of interesting. I'm like kind of intrigued by that. When I was looking through the website, I saw that. And, you know, I love scents. I think it's kind of fun that you could get a new one every month. But anyway, just wanted to shout that out. And last, before we get into everything, I do want to note that I have an affiliate link down below. It's not monetarily affiliated. I don't make any money off of it if you click it, but there is a promotion attached to it. So if you guys decide to pick up a bottle, you can get a free sampler pack, which is a $25 value. This comes with Salt Air, Isle Escape, Capri Summer, Pink Canyon, and Vanilla Sky. I feel like it's a little bit backwards to buy a bottle and then get the fragrance sampler, but that is the deal, so that'll be down below if you want to click that. But also right now, they are doing a 20% off sale on their website. It ends today with code FRIENDS20, so you can always check that out if you're watching this video in, you know, real time when I'm uploading it. And I'll also talk about a couple other ways you could save money on specific perfumes as we get there, but let's just get into it because this is going to be a long video. And these are in no particular order. I'll give you my top 5 at the end. I'm gonna first start off with Pink Canyon. The top 3 notes that they kind of put on the box here are grapefruit, pink salt, and cedar. And I think this is a really interesting and pretty unique scent. This definitely falls in the very like fresh and like clean but in a different way. It really does seem like just such the perfect blend of that grapefruit. You're really getting that, but it's not too sweet. You can smell that like bitterness from it just a bit. I also definitely can sense the salt that's in here, but I find that the salt, it's still kind of subtle. It's adding this interesting note, but it's not taking over because there is another salty fragrance in here, and we'll talk about that one. And then I just love the cedar, that kind of wood at the end. It's really grounding this scent. I think of this scent as a really great like signature everyday all year round type of scent, even though overall I would say that this scent is light and many of the other ones are in that lighter category. When I smell this and as I was wearing it, I definitely thought like this is me and what I would wear as a makeup artist. Like out of all these scents in the line, this is definitely like a top contender for that because I feel like it's unoffensive. There's something about it that's like feminine but still very strong. I mean, anyone could wear this. All the scents are unisex, but there's just like this strength to this. It's not too sweet. It's not too strong. I just would feel like clean, powerful, and I'm getting shit done and like happy about it. Like that's kind of the vibe to me. Okay, here are some of mine and Sam's like initial thoughts when we were smelling this, because I had Sam smell all of these with me. We were ranking them, like I've been testing these for a while to really get my thoughts on them. This is a fragrance out of the line that doesn't smell exactly like super fruity or super whatever. Like in the same way to me, like Santal 33 just smells like a fragrance. I don't think of it as like particularly woody. It just smells good. That's kind of how this is to me. They're not like similar fragrances, don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to say like I can't pick out necessarily something to one way or the other, you know? On the skin, I find this gets a little bit fresher, a little bit sharper, which I don't mind. I like that. I feel like it kind of like amps up that smell. You're definitely going to be picking up that citrus, but again, it's a little bit more on that bitter grapefruit side than it is like a juicy, sweet grapefruit scent. I get more of like authentic kind of the rind of a grapefruit. I like that this isn't too sweet and it doesn't lean too sweet as it dries down, because some of the other fragrances here I find like with wear and all that, they kind of lose some of the complexity and get a little bit sweet, but this one's not like that. I put on here that I feel like this is perfect for brunch by the ocean after you've just done yoga, but you're not too sweaty and you're not hungover from the night before. You're like getting your life together. That's what this smells like to me. I also put on here that it's a bitter, salty, sweet ocean breeze, but there's also the woods. Like you're right there on that cliffside. That's what this smells like. It's very, very nice. I really enjoy this fragrance. This one gave me about 5 to 6 hours, a little bit more wear time on this one, but really good. And I also really like, again, that it's quite unique to the line. And I thought it would give you the main rundown of the top notes, the middle notes, and base notes. So the top notes are dewy lemon, grapefruit, and sage leaves. The middle notes are magnolia, lily of the valley, and tiare petals. And then the base notes are sheer amber, pink salt, cedar, and musk. And I feel like all of that is, if that all sounds good to you, I think that this fragrance will give you what you want, especially obviously given my other explanations. I don't find that it picks up too floral, which I really love. I think that cedar and musk really help ground it and keep it from getting too floral. Okay, next, randomly, this one is Willow Woods, and the 3 notes that they put on the box here are pine, fir balsam, and willow. And this one I was so excited for. You can definitely initially in the opening smell that pine. There's kind of this greenness to it while it still has a bit of a sweetness that rounds it out. Oh, it smells so, so good. I love the opening of this fragrance. I love balsam though. I love like that pine tree smell. And I really loved that this felt like a comforting one. It wasn't too woody, you know? It stayed with like the leaves instead of like going to the bark of the tree, which don't get me wrong, I love a woody fragrance, but I just felt like it was something interesting. It almost felt like we could put a little fig in here type thing. There's not fig in here, but something about it felt a little bit creamier or, I don't know, sweeter than maybe I would have expected. I thought I would list out all the notes first instead of at the end. That might be more helpful. The top notes on this are heliotrope and willow. Middle notes, pine and fir balsam. And then the base notes are incense and wood. I don't find that the incense or wood are too heavy on this. I don't necessarily always love something that's incensey, so I don't feel like this is like overpowered by that at all. I definitely feel like there's something kind of sweet going on here, and I find that especially happens as this fragrance dries down. It's definitely kind of like aromatic to me. And then I put on here that it's kind of like flying over the California woods. Like if you've ever been to California Adventures, they have a ride where you can like, you know, go through the forest, and there's something about this, I think it's the pine, that kind of they would spray that and you'd be like, wow, I'm flying over the trees type of thing. I feel like on the skin though, this definitely loses that fresh kind of green piney note that adds just enough like tang or something to counteract the sweetness. You kind of lose that in the first couple of minutes. And so the dry down gets very sweet. You're not getting any of those initial plants that I really liked about it. And so that change, I don't know, to me it just keeps getting sweeter and sweeter, and I don't particularly love the dry down, unfortunately. I want to love it so bad because this would be probably in my top 3 if it stayed that pine. But it does turn a little bit sweet. Sam, every time I have him smell this, is always like, candy. I'm like, what are you talking about? But he's always gotten a candy note from the opening to when it's dried down on me. He always says the candy notes. So I'm like, I don't know what candy you eat, but no, that's true. It is a beautiful fragrance, but it's definitely, to me, an example that on the skin and dry down matter, and they do change a perfume, so that one definitely changes. I'm not saying you shouldn't try it. Maybe it'll be your favorite, but just for my particular taste, I wish it kept that green freshness to it. Let's get into fall. Let's do a fall one. Okay, this was one I was really, really excited to try. Definitely one that I would have been the most tempted out of all of these to purchase, or at least make sure I get a sample of, get my nose on it type of thing. This is Fall Cashmere, and the 3 main notes on this on the front are roasted almond, cinnamon bark, and spiced ginger. I'm just so into fall, so you tell me it's Fall Cashmere and I'm ready to smell it. This is not playing around. This is festive immediately. You smell this, you are transported into fall time. If there were a perfume to be perfect for like, I'm baking for fall, or I'm going apple picking, or I'm going to walk the neighborhood and see the trees turning red with a cup of spiced cider, this is the perfume I would wear to do that. I really enjoy this scent, and this is probably not typical for me because you are picking up on a lot of the spice. Like there's definitely that cinnamon, you're smelling it, but there's something about it in the base that's a little bit more creamy, a little bit more ooey gooey, but it's not overly sweet. The full list of notes on this are the top notes, roasted almond, spiced ginger. Middle notes are cinnamon bark, clove, and matcha tea. And the base notes are creamy sandalwood, caramelized vanilla, white musk, and golden amber. And I feel like those just like completely tell you what this is about. It's warm, and there is some sweetness coming from that vanilla. But again, I don't find this like overly sweet. It's definitely, to me, gourmand, because this does smell in a way like food. Like to me, this almost smells like the apple pie filling. Like there's something coming through, a little tangy, little appley from it, but there's just so much cinnamon. It almost smells like I can smell the warmth of it, you know, cooking inside, like oozing out of a pie. That's what I'm getting from this. I think that sandalwood, I can definitely smell that it's creamy, but I love that kind of like woody note. It does smell like a fall forest, but again, very festive. It is a little bit powdery. I think some of that almonds coming into play, maybe even some of that musk, but in like a really great way. On the skin, this is super cozy. There's something about this that's really familiar, and I don't know if that's because this could be a perfect candle, so that's something about this fragrance. I don't know, that could be a positive or a negative for you, but I could see this being a room spray, a candle. Like it's very much that festive. It almost reminds me of Leaves, Bath & Body Works, if you guys have smelled that. So I mean, it's different, but there's definitely that spice. It's a little bit more creamy, but it could be a candle like that. I'm super into this scent, and I specifically really love pairing it with the Vanilla Sky scent because I feel like it just kind of adds a little bit more sweetness. It makes it a little more creamy. It kind of cuts some of that cinnamon a little bit, although I do like it. I honestly can't imagine wearing this scent any other time but in cooler months in the fall time, because it is so specific, but I do think that it's really beautiful. I really enjoy the scent, and I'm kind of surprised how much I like it because I don't know how much I would have liked this in the past, but where my nose is now, what I'm into, I've really been enjoying Fall Cashmere. But I definitely would smell that one in store if you can, so that way you can know if that like cinnamon note is right for you. I guess while we're here, we'll talk about Vanilla Sky. This is, ooh, you guys, my favorite. I don't know. Who am I? I love vanillas now. I really love the Vanilla Sky scent. I think it is a very nice vanilla. On the box, it says cappuccino, pure vanilla, caramelized cedar. Like caramelized cedar. Hi. I just love the idea of that. The idea of a caramelized piece of wood. That sounds like something I can totally get down with. Anyway, I'm gonna read you the full list of notes. The top notes in this are bergamot zest, sweet orange, and cappuccino. The middle notes are pure vanilla, jasmine, grandiflorum, and cinnamon bark. And the base notes are caramelized cedar, sheer amber, and sandalwood. Just so, so pretty. I think that bergamot zest and kind of that orange give this vanilla a brightness, a lightness to it. It's definitely sweet and like you smell like that pure vanilla smell, but I really like the way that those citrusy notes in here play to make it a little bit lighter, a little bit brighter. I think this is a vanilla you could wear year round. It's definitely cozy enough to wear in the warmer months, but it's not super heavy, and I love that. I love that caramelized cedar note, like I said, with that like woodiness. It just kind of grounds it for me. Also with that sandalwood, and I think the amber not being too heavy is great. I love this fragrance. This is like my perfect cuddling in, spray it on your blanket, spray it on you before you go to bed type of fragrance for me. I'm just into the sweet stuff, and I feel like this is that perfect mix where it's not like too sickly sweet, but it's definitely giving me what I want. And I also think this is the perfect layering fragrance for all of these. Like, so good, so good. Number one. On the skin, I wrote down some notes that it's cozy and warm. It's sweet, not sickly, like I said. I smell a little bit of the cappuccino. I don't know if I would pick up on that note if I hadn't like read it. I wouldn't know what that was, but I do think I smell a little bit of that coffee note. I didn't pick up on much of the cinnamon that's in here, but I just think it's such a nice, like airy yet sweet. And I find as I wear it, it almost gets to this like, it almost gets to that burnt sugar smell. Like it's so close. Something about the way it dries down really like hones in on that caramelized cedar. Really love it. Highly, highly suggest, especially if you love vanillas, I would check it out. It's just a nice, like warm yet airy one. It's good. It's a good one. Next, let's talk about Isle Escape. This one is a really great, like more beachy, kind of aquatic, but it still has a creaminess to it. The three notes on here are bergamot, cardamom, and sandalwood. And for the full list, the top notes are bergamot, orange mist, and fresh quince. The middle notes are cardamom, peony caress, and ginger root. And the base notes are sandalwood, subtle musk, and golden amber. I have like a specific memory that gets tied to this scent. Like whatever this combination is, just brings me back to my days when I was in year-round swim. I don't know why, I just get like, it's like the perfume good, nostalgic, awesome version of the pool and the chlorine and the pool deck. I can like picture it cracking like the tan. Like it takes me back, okay? It takes me there. I definitely get like aquatic feelings from this one, but there's something kind of creamy underneath it, and it feels like warm, almost a little powdery. I really, really love this. To me, this is like the perfect summer, spring scent. Maybe you are going to be by the beach or by the ocean. Maybe you are going to be doing something like that. So good. I can just imagine this mixing with like the sun of the day and, you know, kind of the wind of the day and being awesome, amazing. It's not in here, we read the notes, but I almost get something kind of coconutty off of this. Like something in it feels coconutty to me, but Sam does not pick up on that. I'm alone over here on that one. It's just such a comforting scent. Definitely nothing like citrusy or too bright or anything in here, even though it has that orange mist. Really think that sandalwood coming through. It's so good. Maybe that is what's mixing with the bergamot, but it's not picking up overly citrus. I put on here, on the skin, I get a creamy coconut, powdery smell. Very comforting, very pool day, beach day, casual, non-offensive. I think of like flowy clothes. I got like 3 to 4 hours on this one, so not as long as maybe the full 4-hour wear. I really like this one. I have like this nostalgic, I can't believe it's like captured in here. It almost smells like, again, the perfume good coconutty version of your swimsuit that like smells like chlorine. I love it. I like love that. Next, let's talk about Salt Air. This one is definitely, to me, I think it's unique. I think it's a very unique scent. The 3 main notes it says are driftwood, seaweed, and sea salt. And I think this is probably more aquatic than the actual Isle Escape. But it takes aquatic and it takes it a lot more clean. I think the salt is very heavy in this fragrance in a way that my nose is just like, whoa, what is happening here? Like it takes it on a journey to me. Salt Air as well as Vanilla Sky, I feel like came out a little bit before all these other fragrances. And people definitely like these. Both this scent and the Vanilla Sky are in different sampler packs at Sephora. So if these specifically are the ones you want to try, that would be the best way to get the best discount on them. So I would definitely check those out while they're available. They're not going to be available forever, but If Salt Air or if Vanilla Sky is the one you want to try, I would check those out. I definitely pick up on the seaweed in this too. There's definitely something about this where you're wearing like white linen by the beach, but there's a sweetness still, even though it's kind of salty, even though it's kind of seaweedy. I think seaweed sounds like it'll be stinky. It's not stinky at all, and you might smell this and be like, what are you talking about? But I definitely pick up on that. It almost could be too, to me though, like aloe. Like there's almost this kind of sweet aloe-ness that maybe could be translated. Like instead of seaweed, maybe I could see that being it. But the salt is just pretty heavy, and for me, it's not my favorite. Like it's just interesting. I like smelling it. I can appreciate the scent, but for my own personal like wearing it, doesn't feel like on me, like on my skin. The full note breakdown: on the top notes, Italian bergamot, sea salt, and seaweed. The middle notes, cotton blossom, water lily, and cyclamen. And then the base notes are driftwood, vanilla, and musk. I definitely feel that cotton. It definitely feels a little bit crispy, but there's still a sweetness, so it's not too like, I feel like headache inducing of a clean scent. There's that vanilla in there too, adding a little bit of sweetness with that musk. It's definitely an interesting set, and if you're someone who wants to go more for something where you feel really fresh, but not overly like citrusy or fruity or too vanilla or too sweet, I think this would be a good one for you to try out. On my skin, this definitely felt like beachy and kind of aquatic. It's like salt air and damp hair. I felt like the dry down kind of softened some of that saltiness coming off of this fragrance, which I did enjoy. I think one of the things that I pick up on this that I maybe not, it's like kind of astringent. It's like the way that my nose travels with this fragrance, it like goes up a valley and it hits this note and then goes back down. I feel like that's the salt and how it translates to me. That definitely makes it unique. I feel like if you like Ellis Brooklyn salt, I think you should try this out because I feel like the salt in this is stronger, like stronger than the Ellis Brooklyn. So definitely if you like that scent from them, try the Salt Air from Skylar. We have 3 more fragrances left. I know it's been a lot. Next, we're gonna talk about Capri Summer, and this is one of my faves. This is like the epitome of sunshine and summer and citrus and fruity. It's so good. The 3 notes on here are bergamot, neroli, and blood orange. So good. It's sweet, but not too sweet. It feels juicy and bright. Perfect for a summer day. Perfect for just hanging out. I feel like if you really like those fruity scents from Jo Malone, you should try this one. Like if you love the nectarine blossom one, even though this doesn't have nectarine in it, I just feel like this just evokes that to me. The full notes on this: top notes, grapefruit, blood orange, bergamot. Middle notes, neroli, nougat. I don't know. I've never heard of that one before. Dewy rose, and the base notes, teakwood, sheer vetiver, and crystal musk. It is so, so good, you guys. This one is like one of my favorites. It's also Sam's, I think, #1 pick. You're definitely picking up a lot on that citrus, but there's something just overall kind of fruity about this. He even kind of came up with this being like almost a version of Daisy. Like if you like Daisy from Marc Jacobs, you will probably love this fragrance. There's something about this is like the citrus version of that. It's very bright. There's something about it that feels very just like light, almost kind of girly, and just so happy. There's like this underlying sweetness though that's very similar to me, to my nose, to Marc Jacobs Daisy. On the skin, I found that this was sweet and bright, and then the citrus to it started getting a little bit like more zesty and bitter, but I really like that. It felt very authentic, and I felt like it balanced the sweetness in it really well. This is definitely spring and summer. Like you're wearing this on vacation, you're wearing this on hot days. It's like adding like this beautiful, like refreshing moment to your day. I also felt like I got better projection than some of the other scents here. Still wore for about 4-ish hours, but I could smell it on me better. Like I could smell it around me the whole time of that 4 hours, which I really liked. So, so good. I highly suggest that one. Again, one of my favorites, especially if you like something citrusy, you like something fruity, you want something bright, but not sickly. Again, all of these are very light and airy, and I like that about them. I know it sucks to like touch up your fragrance, and that might not be something that you like, but I do find that I like that because they're not too like heavy on me where I can just smell them and they kind of irritate me. I kind of like that they kind of dissipate off and I can touch up, or if I want to change my scent throughout the day, I can do that. So yeah, for my preferences where I'm at right now with my like scent journey, I almost prefer that sometimes where it's not too heavy. You're not going to come into a room and like take over. you know, with any of these. Next, second to last, this is the Sun Shower scent, and the 3 notes on here are lemon leaves, jasmine tea, and meadow greens. This is like, baby, you're on a juice cleanse. You are juicing it up. This is very bright, very green to me. There's still some sweetness though. This one's very good. This is a good one, I feel like, to pair with the Willow, because I feel like that green, the green in this stays the whole time, so it really helps to like bring it back in here, but then you get that sweetness of this one, so together, very, very nice. The full notes on this, top notes, Italian bergamot, lemon leaves, jasmine tea, definitely picking up on like the lemon leaves. Like not only the lemon, but leaves of the lemon tree for sure. There's something about this that definitely feels very unisex as well. Kind of clean. The middle notes on here, ginger flower, meadow greens, and lily. And the base notes, cedarwood, cypress, and gaiac wood. Oh, it's a very, very nice one. This almost smells kind of spicy. I think it's that ginger coming through, but to me, it almost smells like when you are juicing celery. That's why I think of like a juice cleanse or like a green smoothie. But in again, like the perfume type of way. There's definitely a sweetness coming too, but this one I find on the skin does keep that tangy green note, which I really, really love. I almost put too that spiciness like almost translates as bell pepper, but it's not. There's no bell pepper in here. I just think that ginger for me, those are kind of the things I'm thinking of when I'm smelling it. This is definitely one of those fresher, kind of cleaner scents as well, like on my skin. And then I do smell that like ginger flower, a little bit of the floral coming through, but I find that the woods in the base, again, don't let it get too floral for me. And that like floral woodsy note is what kind of lasts you throughout the day with this fragrance. Really, really like it. I think it's a really good one on its own, but again, like that and Willow Woods together, very nice, very nice. All right, and last, we're on to Magic Bloom. This one is pear, yuzu, and magnolia. And this one is very unique to me and a bright, bright, authentic pop of citrus on your nose. Ooh, it is just, it hits so bright, you guys. This is like you are literally peeling a grapefruit in front of me. The oils, I can see it. Like the sun is shining, you're spraying the oils. Very, very nice. And I think what makes this so authentic smelling is that there's definitely, like it's bright and poppy and there's definitely a sweetness, but there is a bitterness that very much resembles like a true grapefruit citrus to me, even though I don't think grapefruit is even credited in here. Okay, so these are the full list of notes. Top notes, yuzu, pear, mandarin leaf. Maybe it's the leaf. Middle notes, magnolia, apple blossom, honeysuckle. Base notes, sandalwood, white amber, clean musk. There is definitely something floral and citrusy to this one, but it's different than the Capri Summer. This one is just like brighter, a little bit more bitter. It's a little bit more punchy. Definitely, I feel like a unique one. Like this one's like, whoa, like a firework almost. Like that's how I think of it. Like when I smell it, I'm like, whoa, what's going on? It's juicy still though. Just so very, I think, authentic. There's also a bit of like, it felt like a spice or something in there that kind of adds on. On the skin, I find this stays very citrusy, very bright. It isn't maybe as sharp as like smelling it, you know, just like out the bottle, but it's definitely there. A little bit of that sweetness comes in, but it never gets too sweet. I think this is a good one if you want like a citrusy type scent, but you want it a little bit different. You know, you don't want it like a typical, or you want it a little bit punchier. This one's definitely the way to go. This is one of Sam's favorites as well. And this was one that I really like and enjoy pairing it with Vanilla Sky. I find the vanilla kind of calms down a little bit of that bitterness, a little bit of that like bright pop, and kind of makes it more of like a dreamsicle type situation. Really, really nice. I love that combination. Okay, I think I did it. I think I went through all the scents. I know this video has to be like so long at this point, but I hope this video helped give you an idea of like what I think of these scents, which one might be for you, hopefully. I do want to bring up their older scents and do a little bit of a comparison really fast before we get into final thoughts. First off, I want to note that Meadow and Arrow from their old line, there is nothing similar to me at all in these new fragrances. These are both like more powdery and floral. Yeah, there's nothing like these in the new line. So if those are your favorite, just want to point that out. None of these smell like that, like really at all. From the old line, I feel like Coral is most similar to Magic Bloom. I don't know if these are the exact scents. I don't feel like they are. I feel like the new scents have more complexity to them. I feel like I can pick up on more notes, and I feel like these all just felt like a singular, like just smell. And so I really like the new stuff. I don't know if that's me making that up, but even if these are similar, I feel like they've enhanced these scents to make the new ones. If you liked Coral from before, it's most similar, I think, to Magic Bloom. Isle, like you expect, is most similar to Isle Escape, and these are similar. Like, again, I think that they are, like, the base is the same, but I find the new ones are just, they're better, they're stronger, they're more complex, like I said. So definitely an upgrade, even if the scents are similar. But if you liked Isle, you will probably really like Isle Escape. Capri is closest to Capri Summer. Again, very similar, but I'm just picking up so much more. So it's stronger, it's just better. The new ones are an upgrade. And last, there's Willow, but I find this very different than Willow Woods. This one almost smells a bit more like it has like a cologne to it, almost like a deodorant. It feels a little bit more manly in that way. Definitely not the same as this Willow. This is definitely sweeter. Yeah, definitely sweeter. I feel like there's a lot of sweetness off of this Willow, the new Willow, the Willow Woods, than there is off of the initial Willow. Even if I can see them being in the same family, but definitely a lot more difference than some of the other ones in the new and old. Okay, that all being said, I thought I would give you my top favorites. I'm gonna give you my top 5, okay? Even though genuinely, I think all of these are good fragrance. There's not one that I like dislike. Even Salt Air, which would probably be my least favorite, just personally, I can still appreciate and totally see why people like it. It's just not for me. But number 1, I gotta give it to Vanilla Sky. You guys, this is so good. You can see that this has the biggest dent out of everything because I layer it, I wear it at night. I spray so much of this on me. I love the sweetness of it. And I've been trying different vanillas, and not all vanillas are created equal, let me tell you that, okay? Some vanillas smell cold and fishy almost. I know that sounds like a lot, but it's true. And this one's just warm and bright and so comforting and so delicious, and I highly, highly suggest it. Like I said earlier, you can use the link down below, pick this up, get the sample set if you want. You can do the Sephora sampler if this is the one you're interested in. This is in one of those Sephora samplers, so you can get it on a good deal. Or if you're watching this video in real time, very close to when I upload it, again, they're doing 20% off right now with the code FRIENDS20. So that could also be a way that you could save as well if you have a couple that are on your mind, or you want to do the travel sizes instead and try a few scents. So number 1, definitely Vanilla Sky. I wrote these down because I feel like I could change my mind. So I'm gonna look at my list, refer to my list. I put number 2 as my favorite as Pink Canyon. I find this is just so unique. I really do like the way that the salt and the wood and like the sage even and that grapefruit, it just feels very put together and sexy and kind of strong in a fresh, clean, bright way. Like I really like this. I think it's very unique. Again, I think it's a really good one for a signature scent, a work scent, that type of thing. Very, very beautiful. That's my number 2 suggestion. I'm changing what I said. I first put number 3 as Isle Escape, but I'm gonna go with Capri Summer, you guys. I just think this is so the epitome of summer. I feel like so many people would enjoy this. I do get those like whiffs of daisy almost to it. It's different, but like I said, it's just, it just feels like you're gonna make some like good memories, in the summer, in the sun, and I love it. I love it. Next, we're gonna go with Isle Escape. I love the creaminess of this and the kind of powderiness that this has. I feel like both work well where it doesn't get too powdery, because I don't think I like too powdery. So good. I love that I can like have this phantom coconut note in here, even if it's not in here. I smell it, and I love that. And rounding out my top 5, I had to put Fall Cashmere in here. I just think this is so unique. I love that cinnamon and that wood smell coming through, with that bit of sweetness as well. I think it pairs, again, so nicely with Vanilla Sky if you want to sweeten it up a little bit. If you like autumn vibes from Replica, I think you should give this a smell. This is gonna be a little bit sweeter. It's not the same. I'm just saying, like, I wanna pair them together, and that will kind of dry this one out a little bit because that's so woody. But to me, they evoke those same types of feelings for fall, and I love it. So that's my top 5. But like, this one's so good. So many are so good. Magic Bloom is so good. I really genuinely enjoy all of these. I'm gonna keep all of these in my collection. I'm not gonna be getting rid of any of them. Even Salt Air, I'm gonna keep it around because I think it has some use in layering even. So those are some of my thoughts on the Skylar Perfumes. I'm so excited and so happy that I could be able to review them for you. So I really hope any of the information I gave in here is helpful. If you have one of these at home, I'd love to know what your favorite scent is or which one you are excited to try out. But I'm gonna leave it here for Amateur Scent Hour for the week. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really hope you're having an amazing day. And other than that, I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.